All right, we are live. Welcome, Facebook. Happy Friday to everyone. If you are watching this, maybe you can't watch it now, watch it on the flip side. It'll also be on our YouTube channel. If you have built, you're looking to build, you're just curious on the process of navigating all the pieces and parts to building a new home, my lovely guest today, Kelley Porter from Newmark Homes, is going to share her wisdom. She is an award-winning community sales manager for Newmark Homes in the Town Lake community currently. And her and I were chatting before the show here. She's got a lot of information that we're going to uncover to help you navigate and not make costly mistakes in maybe making add-ons or just purchasing and building your next home. In addition to that, we're going to give you some and share some tips with you on what to consider so that you, when you do move in 5 to 7 years, which is national average, that you will make the best investment decision so that you can maximize your equity when you do sell. So without further ado, welcome, Kelley. Thank you so much on short notice. I ran into Kelley out doing a stage with her director of sales, Marianne Scarborough. Can you wave, Marianne? Stick your head in, girlfriend. All right, she's not gonna. There she is. Yeah. And this lady and I worked together many, many years ago. She knew how many years. It's like, God, am I that old? And is now director of sales for Newmark, one of the most prestigious production custom builders in the area. They just opened up a location in Austin. But enough of my chattering. Kelley, welcome. Tell us a little bit about Kelley, how you got into new home sales, and then we'll just jump right into the topic.
I was really lucky, actually. The opportunity to join a sales team with a very good builder kind of fell into my lap. I was living in Ohio at the time and considering, should I be living in Ohio or should I move to Texas? I was engaged to be married at the time and my fiance lived down here. And exploring what the Houston market was all about. And I just happened to walk into a model home and the gentleman was really pressing me hard to buy a home from him that day. And I put my hands in his face and I was like, look, I cannot buy a home from you right now. And he said, well, why? And I said, because I don't live here. I don't have a job. I don't, there's a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up before I can commit to buying a home from you right now.
Wow. He didn't do some qualifying, did he, before he was pressing hard?
So he said, well, what do you do? And I said, well, sales and marketing mostly. And he said, well, do you think you could do my job? And I thought about what he did, tour me around the model home. And I said, well, yeah, I do think I could do that. He said, great, because we're hiring and we're not advertising it.
Wow.
So I had to fly out the next day.
No kidding.
Noon. And so he arranged for me to have my first interview and I did, and the rest is history. And here I am.
So we'll get into the topic, but I want to know, what industry did you come from, or stay-at-home mom, or what was going on?
Yeah, so I was a stay-at-home mom for 17 years. I have 6 children and a bonus daughter.
Wow. And, bless you.
Yes, and then I sold for a television station. And
okay, so that's your background. I come from outside sales too. I'm going to date myself and let you know I came from advertising. Yellow Page advertising was my first. But much like media, you've got to knock on doors and learn how to take no and handle objections and do some discovery and so forth. So, well, awesome. And I know again, I was reading your bio. You're award-winning. You have lots of accolades. And have done fantastic, and which is, I'm sure, why your boss, Marianne wants to showcase you, because you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and we're thankful that you're here sharing with our audience who have a need to know. And if you don't have a need to know, but someone else does, share this video with them. So let's talk about, Kelley. In your experience, what are some of the things that you run across that you've been able to help folks make a better decision when navigating and building their own home? What are some things to consider, or that you find out that, people possibly have made mistakes, or, can prevent them from making mistakes?
Sure. Well, I want to try to find out what it is that is not working for about their current, because a very limited amount of time any adult.
I keep losing every other word. I don't know if your mic, or maybe because your head's moving. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Is this better?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay. So I always like to try and find out what is not working for someone about their current situation. Because there's a very limited amount of time in every adult's life, and house hunting takes up a lot of time and a lot of mental and emotional energy too. So it's important to find out what it is that is driving them out to look for a new home. And what I have found,
and that can be a lot of things, as we've talked before in real estate, which is why you have to be a psychologist also. I'm sure Kelley, is that it could be happy, it could be a birth, it could be a death, it could be a promotion, it could be you got fired. So it's all over the spectrum of emotions of why someone's moving. So you have to be sensitive and cognizant of that. But then I like that you kind of, as you call it, peel back the layers of the onions and find out, maybe sometimes people don't think, oh yeah, well, I guess I really do need this space, or I wish I had this space for that. Maybe they don't take the time to think about, okay, what can I do different, and how can I make that different in my next new space?
Yeah, that's right. Because a lot of times peeling back the onion is about asking the questions, well, tell me more about that. Why isn't that working? What would you rather have? That kind of a thing. And so sometimes it's a little bit mentally taxing because they haven't even thought that deeply about it. They just know that they're uncomfortable. It's not them. They need something different.
They need something different. And I like that you take the time, and I'm sure that's why you in part contributing to your success is that you take the time to, put them in a thought process that they haven't thought about before. So give us an example maybe of something where you were able to steer them into a better direction, that they were maybe off on another tangent. Do you have anything in mind that you can share with us?
Yeah. So, as we mentioned, Newmark can customize homes. So a lot of times, we have 18 different floor plans that we build here in Town Lake on our 80-foot lots here. And a lot of times in the very first conversation, before anyone has, well, I always ask them, are you already, do you already have your heart set on one of our floor plans? And they might say, no, but do you do customization? And I'll say, well, tell me more about why you're asking that, this, we want that. And in finding out more, a lot of times we already do have a floor plan that will fit that without going to the costly and time extensive process of customizing a home for them.
Customizing. So let me just insert here, if folks aren't familiar with local builders, and Town Lake happens to be in Cypress, Texas. Many builders do not, production builders do not. It's what you see is what you get. So there is no customization. So Newmark is really a hybrid. It's the closest to a custom builder without the custom price tag, but 18 floor plans is a lot. I think the average builder might have 8 or 10, is my guess. I've been out of new homes for a few years now, but 18 is a lot. So there's a lot to choose from. And then what kind of customizations are the most common, would you say?
The most common, well, because we have so many floor plans, we've really minimized the number of customization that's necessary, because we are we're a smaller company, locally owned and operated. Our architectural,
I love that,
is right here in Houston and accessible to us all on the team. And they are always listening to the feedback from the sales team of what we are hearing out in the field, what people really want. And they are nimble enough to be able to come up with something, pre-engineer it, pre-price it, and offer it as an option. But most most recently, some of the things that we have done to purely customize a home is to add a second main bedroom somewhere in the home, which is important for some people. And,
Yep.
In some cases, there are buyers who just want what they want, and they want to pull and stretch and just make the home what they really want it to be. We always encourage that they leave the essence of the original floor plan that they landed on. And, they can make it their own, absolutely, and we welcome that. But really, there's not really one that we do consistently, because if we consistently, we go ahead and make that an option.
Gotcha. Now you mentioned two main bedrooms. I know that was pretty popular, really, 7 years ago when I left the builder world. And I'm seeing other builders do a lot of either a secondary down for aging parents, college student, et cetera, and maybe one up. I'm assuming that your 18 plans, you've got one or two plans that have two main bedrooms, or no?
Well, we have dual home options in several of our floor plans. We have a lot to choose from. And the dual home option can be a bedroom with an ensuite bath and a living quarters.
Wow.
Or it can be a bedroom with an ensuite bath with a nice sized living quarters and a kitchenette.
Nice. So almost like wow. I hope my daughter's not listening to this, because she keeps saying build a house with a little small area for me and Elizabeth. Might have to do that. Well, that sounds like an amazing option, for, in this time frame that, where folks are having, dual families in the home, and or maybe teaching their kids out of the home. So that's awesome. Yeah, that you could do a whole, what do you call it? Dual family living?
Option.
Wow.
A home within a home.
That is awesome. And is it connected, or do you do a breezeway?
It can be either.
Either way.
Both.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. So and I don't know if this is different in different communities, but what is the average? One of the things when I was in new homes, and this has been quite a few years, but people would look at the model home, and you'd tour the model home and go, well, that's an upgrade, that's extra, and then you'd go and show them the same plan in an inventory home, and of course they were underwhelmed because there was no sizzle, it wasn't decorated, and there wasn't all those options. So where do you guys play in that field? I know a lot of builders have taken the stance of, let's not overdo, let's do a model home light, which we've actually helped some builders do a model home light, to where it's not such a drastic change to what, maybe an inventory home. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts, well, I think buyers are conditioned to ask that question.
Sure.
If they're walking around and they're, talking to a lot of salespeople, seeing a lot of model homes, that's why we hear the same questions all the time from people, whether they're walking in from, inner loop or coming in from out of state. We hear the same questions all the time. But I like to just, what I say, just kind of throw that turd on the table and say, look, almost everything you see is some sort of an upgrade.
Okay. And
even I don't know what a standard Newmark home looks like. I'm putting together a home, a showcase home, or an inventory home in my community. I take a look at what my homeowners are doing, who have most recently gone through the design center. And I take a look at what they're spending on average. This is organic, right? They're spending an average of X amount on their homes, and that's the budget that I give my design center for our inventory homes. So I recommend that, if Newmark Homes ends up on your top 2 list of builders, let's go take a look at some of our homes in the community, because that'll give you a really good idea what to expect your home to look like.
And I like that. I like that you do that. You don't over customize, because you have to keep within a certain price range. Also, the inventory homes for those folks that are coming relo, or they need a home immediately, has to be within a reasonable price range. What is at Town Lake? What is the price range for homes there?
Town Lake 80s, I would say my average all-in total purchase price is in the 800,000s.
800,000. Okay. And that's about how many square feet?
43 to 5,000.
Okay. So
4,300.
I'm curious, this is off topic, but that house that we were staging, was that a Newmark?
That one was not.
It was not. Okay. You don't have to tell me who it was, but I guess whoever's building with you there in Town Lake, right? Okay. 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 So about 4,300 square feet. So do you guys give incentives for upgrades, I'm assuming?
We do. And every month on the first of the month, we get a new flyer and I find out when everybody else finds out. This month in the we are giving $35,000 in upgrades.
Wow.
And we're offering a full appliance package with the washer, dryer, refrigerator.
Wow.
Blinds throughout.
That's awesome. And then what would you say average, what do people put in, about 70?
I tell people to expect to spend about 10% of your base price.
10% of the base. Okay, 70, 80. Yeah, that seems reasonable. But that's a generous contribution.
Yeah.
And where's your design center located, Kelley?
Our design center is located in Newmark's corporate office building, which is at I-10 and Grand Parkway in Katy.
Oh, it's in Katy, right?
Yes, right up against. Can't miss it.
Perfect. So this is a subject near to me. You may have, heard about, I'm not going to mention other builders, but I had actually helped one of my team members on Tada by Cat purchase a home by this builder as a realtor, and of course was compensated. But I have read recently there's been a major builder that is not compensating realtors anymore. Is that true?
This has been a very challenging year.
Yes.
Of multiple reasons and constraints that builders are all facing right now.
Yes.
That is unfortunate. I've heard that too. A lot of my realtor friends and partners, they come in and that's one of the first questions they ask in earnest, because
yes,
that's what they're experiencing out there.
Yes.
Newmark has not made any adjustments to how they compensate their realtors.
Okay. So realtors listening to this, and I know I have many realtor, partners and friends out there. Yeah. Newmark does compensate their realtors. And just to reiterate, I've mentioned this before on different shows, but a lot of folks don't really realize, like, well, I had a young couple, which I did help them get a house several years ago. Well, they ended up finding a new home. Well, I don't need a realtor, do I? And you don't. You can go directly to Kelley or whoever, to a builder, and you don't need a realtor. But it is certainly a good idea because they represent you. Kelley represents the builder, and any other sales manager represents the builder. And it's they don't really care either way because it comes out of their marketing budget. So you can have a realtor, not have a realtor. But I'm pretty sure, unless it's changed, your business comes probably 75 to 80% from your realtor partners, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Because they've got them qualified, they've taken them out, and they can be an advocate for them and so forth. So, I remember I had someone, this is going back years and years ago, but a client that said, well, if I don't have a realtor, can I get an extra X percent? Mm-hmm. And it's like, no. If I was to say yes, we would have just lost the whole realtor, right, partnership. Like, no, it's up to you. It's up to you. You can use a realtor or not use a realtor. It comes out of a different bucket. We don't discount because you don't have a realtor. That would alienate us from our realtor partners completely.
Yeah, that is Newmark's philosophy as well.
Right. Is that the same? Yeah. Yeah. So what else haven't we touched that you would like to share with our viewers, Miss Kelley? We've got about 10 minutes.
Well, I don't know, man.
Okay, I know. I put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
So let me ask you this because I teach continuing education to realtors. Are you guys doing, I think Marianne said, no, you're not really doing in-house realtor workshops or anything like that yet due to the aftermath of COVID. Is that right?
know that we recently had a group tour our design center. We talked about, our design center is award winning, and
Oh, nice. I need to get out there.
you really do. It's beautiful. I would say too that, this year has been, like I said, pretty challenging for builders out there. We've experienced supply shortages, supply chain constraints, and
Absolutely.
people, I think, have gotten a little skittish. It's getting better, but just know too, there are other builders out there who are adding contingencies into their contracts, stating that once you're under contract, they can raise the price. Newmark is
serious.
Yes, Newmark is not doing that. In fact, we're committing to our buyers that when you purchase a home between now and the end of this year, if the advertised base price of that home that you purchased goes down, that between the time they sign their contract and 30 days before they close, Newmark will credit them the difference.
Wow. So let me get this straight. So if the base price goes down, you'll credit the buyer.
Yes.
And if it goes up, they're grandfathered into the lower price.
We will honor the contract price no matter what happens as it trends upward.
That is amazing. And this bears, I think, repeating again, realtors out there who are assisting your buyers to buy a new home, information is power, and you can power up to share with your clients that you can bring them to a builder that they can feel confident if lumber goes up crazy again, because we don't know what's happening in the world. It's a crazy world out there. We'll all agree on that to some extent. And we all know that lumber went up exponentially. Then it's corrected itself a little. I don't know where it's at right now. I just had some art racks made, and the cost wasn't too exponential. So I'm assuming it's not too bad. But it is an unknown playground. So that is a huge thing that you can take to your clients, realtor partners out there, and let them know, if they're concerned about that, and they should be concerned about that. Absolutely. Because it can take 6 months or so to build, 6 to 7 months to build one of your homes, Kelley?
Right now, it's about 8 or 9 months.
That's about 8
information that we have today on my product line.
Okay. Well, yeah, because you're a big product line, 80-foot, 800,000 average rate.
Yeah.
So 8 to 9 months. So, can make a baby in that time, or you can make a house. So guarantees on that is huge. I know if I was out, actively doing real estate, that's something I would really be cognizant of and share with my potential buyers, particularly who are looking for new homes.
Yeah, I would say to people out there who are looking for a new home, to just be flexible and understanding, because there's a lot that we don't know until we're right up on it.
Exactly.
And so, I always set the expectation, my builder and I, with our buyers as we're getting their homes started, that, we may, a couple months ago, maybe it was AC parts that we were having a hard time getting a hold of. And, maybe a month later, it's steel hubs that are in short supply. Or, right now we're really suffering a constraint of window supply. So, things like that, when we, tell folks it's going to take us 7 or 8 months to build your home, it may take 7 or 8 months. It may take a little bit longer.
Yep.
If we can shorten that time frame, we will shorten the time frame, but we just ask for flexibility and understanding in this time.
Absolutely. And I think that bears repeating. There's so many moving parts and pieces to building a home, and every selection down to the hose bibs, and electrical outlets and can lights. And, that's not even getting into the jewelry of the home and the flooring, the cabinets and all of that. And so people need to be reminded, yes, that the supply chain is, affected, and it's a kind of a moving target. We don't know what. It's like, we've invested a lot of money in inventory in our staging company, and it used to be that I was open to selling, a live edge table or a bedroom set or what have you to design clients, but I have to be, careful now because it could take me 6 months to get a replacement, for that. So it's a balancing act, of, hanging on to your inventory and knowing what you need and what you can sell. It's and I don't see that, I don't see that changing immediately. I think we're still, at least a year out. That's my thought on that. So be understanding and set the expectation. It's all about communication. It sounds like, Kelley, you're a great communicator, which you need in any business. It's setting the expectation up front. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. Underpromise and overdeliver. It's always been my motto, and I think it works very well. And again, especially in building a new home, which is again, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle.
It's very emotional for our buyers. And, we try to help them keep that excitement up. And, just like I said in my bio, I like to delight our buyers with a great experience and providing them and arming them with the knowledge that, that we have as far as keeping them informed of what's going on is
absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Kelley, let me ask you this. So design clients will occasionally call me and want to help them select their finishes, backsplash, flooring, et cetera, so that they don't make any color mistakes, especially when they're investing so much. And I know you have your on-site design center counselors also, but are you open to me bringing to a client, having me there to assist them to make sure that they don't make any color mistakes?
So right now, and due to the current COVID environment that we're in, we are restricting our design center appointments to our buyers only. However,
okay.
Would welcome a designer to be present in the appointment via FaceTime or something with.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah. And that's not often, but it occasionally does happen. Usually I'm doing on-site where I have samples there and we're looking at the lighting of the home because color doesn't exist by itself. We need to see how the lighting and how the trajectory of the home is. So I'm assuming with an $800,000, how many design appointments blocks does the buyer have with the designer at your design center?
They'll have 3-hour appointments with our.
Oh, wow.
So it's a really generous amount of time.
That is.
And our designers are such pros. They've got the process down to a science as far as taking our buyers through in a very orderly and systematic way so that it's not overwhelming for them.
Yes.
So get a little bit skittish about buying a new home building it from scratch because they're afraid of the overwhelming possibility of everything being wide open to them. So our designers who put together our models, all the models that you see out here for Newmark, out in the field in the various communities where we build, they were all put together by the designers who work with our buyers every single day.
Right.
So they can feel really good about the fact that they're working with a pro who really knows design.
That's awesome. And I know, and I'm sure they do, much like what I do with my design clients, is I'll have them bring inspirational, because if someone comes to me and says, well, I want farmhouse chic, or I like modern mid-century, well, I'm not going to go off that because that may mean something completely different to me than it does to them, or vice versa. So we have them bring, and I know when I was with a builder, also bring inspiration. What is some happy rooms that you as inspiration that you'd like your space to look like, and that guides the designer, et cetera, to go, okay, I see what you're trying to achieve here. And we don't necessarily have to label it, because, I think in today's design, we're seeing more of an eclectic, it's not cookie cutter, ultra modern or ultra, transitional is kind of the big word. Well, what does that mean? Well, really it means that you can meld many different styles, as long as you do it right and cohesively, and you follow the elements of design in terms of repeating color 3 times, et cetera, and so forth. So yeah, I think that's important. Yeah.
Tag on to that is when you're thinking about the big picture of what home is going to look like. Right now, one of the things that people come to Newmark for and have for a very long time are the innovation of our exterior elevations. We provide a beautiful streetscape to any community because we are very edgy. If people want a really edgy,
I like that, edgy. I need to get out to your models. And so for those folks who don't know what an elevation is, it's the front of the home, because I've had people ask me, what's that? The elevation? Is that how high the house is lifted up? It's the exterior. You know, is it an arched front? Does it have, what do you call those side things off the windows? You know, what does it look like in the front, basically?
exactly.
Right? Whether it's brick, whether it's stucco, whether it's, do you guys do stucco? I know that's kind of.
Yep, we have a very nice mix, something for everyone if they're looking for traditional. We're seeing that a lot right now with painted brick and beautiful.
Oh, painted brick, nice.
Brick, yeah. And there's also a more traditional kind of Mediterranean full stucco elevations. Almost all of our floor plans have some sort of a hybrid mix between traditional, contemporary, Mediterranean, and transitional.
I love it. Yeah. So you're taking the transitional interior and putting it on the exterior as well, so that it's not just one. Yeah, I like that. It just makes it so much more interesting. You know, it back in the day, and again, I'm going to date myself, but actually it's not too far in the distance. You know, people would go out, let's talk about interior spaces, and they would pick a bedroom suite or a living room suite, or, you know, everything was matchy. I think we started seeing it in our model homes probably 10 years ago, where, you know, that's changed. It's helped design business because it's more difficult to put together mixed elements, because you have to, you know about the basic design elements, texture, color, etc. But it's so much more interesting, you know, than just seeing everything matchy, right?
Yes, exactly.
So, okay, I'm going to close. We're at 10:32. We're close enough, but I'm going to close with just a trivia question for me, being triple color certified. What color does Newmark use as standard in their showcase or inventory homes on the walls? Like, I see some sort of a gray. It might be agreeable gray. It looks like it's too much. It's more of a grayish. But what is the go-to color for this year that Newmark's using on their inventory walls?
Yeah, so I think we're transitioning a little bit out of the more tonal grays like agreeable or repose. We're seeing a lot more of First Star, which is a really beautiful.
What's it called?
First Star.
First Star.
First Star
is that a Sherwin-Williams?
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll have to look that one up. Which I'm guessing it. I'm not familiar with that color, but it has more of the beige. It's more of a grayish.
It almost reads as white, but really? It's a beautiful color that picks up light differently. It's one of those that's got a really high reflective quality, so it picks up the light and kind of morphs and changes as you move through the home. It's beautiful.
I like that. I'm going to have to look that up. So you mentioned it's actually called an LRV, light reflective value. Like I did highly reflective white, which has like a 98 LRV.
Yeah.
Because my home is dark. I live in the woodlands and the trajectory, there's a lot of trees. So it's not for everyone. I definitely had to pop it with, you know, some inspirational color to augment it. But you want a high LRV on your paint if you're looking to get that reflection in the various rooms, and you want to play with it depending on what direction the light is. But one thing you mentioned is that it plays well and reads different. You want to be careful of blue, purple, or green undertones. And I'm guessing if Newmark uses this, it doesn't have those undertones. No. So it's not going to read a funky color that you may not like and go, ooh, right?
Yes.
Okay, so your color tip for the day, go check out First Star, Sherwin-Williams. I'm going to do the same. Thank you so much, Kelley, for joining me. And again, on such short notice, thank you, Marianne, for lending Miss Kelley to us. And I hope to get out to your model and see you at your model. Yeah, and maybe even go out to your design. Well, it's by appointment only, the design center, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I can go out to your model and they did all that. So I'm going to come out and visit you real soon. And I'm so happy to have met you. So share this. If you don't have a need and someone else does, share this video. It'll be reposted on our YouTube channel, Ta-Da by Kat. We're streaming both on Kathleen Trelino's, my legal name, and our business page, Ta-Da by Kat. And as usual, we wish that you will stay hopeful, stay positive, and stay connected. And thank you so much for connecting with me and Kelley today. And we'll see you next week. We have a surprise guest, and it's a surprise to me. So if you know anyone who would like to be a guest on the show, who has some juju magic and information to share with our audience, reach out to me. And have a great weekend, Kelley. Thank you again for joining. Bye, Marianne.
Bye.